All right. Welcome, everybody, to the final Global Internship Program meeting. It's been quite a cruise, let me tell you. We've hung out for 8 weeks, actually 9 weeks if we count the orientation meeting that we had. And let me tell you, I've had a lot of fun. I know that we've separated some time. We've been busy. We've been doing other things. Some people are trying to make money. Some people are trying to, do other internships, and that's fine. The most important thing is that we made it, right? And everything that we commit ourselves to, and we just chug along. It seems like we don't know where we're going, but at the end we're going somewhere, and we learn something, right? And I'm so happy that you guys were able to join me in this adventure. Before our guest speaker starts to talk to us about a very important subject, I want to make sure that if anybody here wants to say anything about their week. So I know Jenny, maybe you want to share a little bit about your experience. And I know that last time you were starting to work with Genesis. Anything that you want to share on what you guys worked on?
Well, we were working in Jenny's project. It's the name is Dinero Luminoso. Eh, it's an interesting webinar about educational finances and how to deal with the debts and all the personal stuff about in the professional area too.
Excellent. Jenny, how was your experience? You have
Wow,
fun?
it's yeah, it's really fun. It's amazing. I feel sad because I don't want to finish really. So no, it was this amazing experience because Genesis have a big experience, and we create explosive information for the program. So really happy for that time.
Excellent. Well, listen, I know some of you, and this is important, by the way. So some of you worked in internships that took the entire summer. Some of you worked a little bit. Some of you gained internships and jobs, right? So I think I'm happy with the success of the program. We've been, again, we worked together for 8 9 weeks. So before we get Ignacio and to get him ready to close with our keynote speaker, anything anybody here wants to share about their experience? If you want to go around the room and share anything that you learned, this is our final time together. So I'll be last. How about ladies first? Anything you want to share about what you got this summer?
Sure, sure. I think I would like to go because it's my first meeting with you all today. I am from India, so it's been a little difficult for me to cope up with the timings whenever we met before. So, I mean, I've been working with Hanan for a very long time. It's been a year almost. But this experience of this entire internship program and this journey of 10 weeks was so amazing in so many ways that it's almost difficult to put in words. But what I actually learned from it in a professional setting, I think a little consistency and how one should maintain resilience while we approach and we work for something. It doesn't, I mean, things does not always turn out the way we expect them to. So your consistency and your commitment is always tested uh, at such situations. So how you cope up with them and how you come out, it actually defines you as a person. And in professional way as well. So it's been a very interesting, very comprehensive journey for me, as I got to explore a lot of areas and learn a lot of things. But these are the basic and most important learnings, I would say, happen for me, and I take this with me, of course. So thank you, Nan. Like as always, it's been a great pleasure.
Good job. I will save
I
my
am
comment.
Palak, by the way.
Thank you.
I did
Falak,
not introduce myself.
Falak from India.
Yep.
Falak from the world, by the way. She's all over the world. So thank you.
Sure.
Thank you. And I'll share my comments at the end. But if you want Muskan, who's been here every Monday morning for her from Hong Kong, anything you want to share about the experience? Was it hard?
Hi, good morning. It was definitely fun. It's been really fun doing these 8, 9 weeks. I think initially I was a little lost, not knowing what I was doing or where I was going with this. But I think over the past 8 to 9 weeks, it's been really fun because I got to do new things and try out new different things. And I think like just learning all these things that you put up and all these sessions that we have has been like really enlightening and really insightful. So I think it's been really helpful because there are certain things that you don't end up noticing, certain things which could be important in the long run, and all those small things end up mattering a lot when you go ahead. So I think it's really helped out in like understanding all the nitty-gritties of how things work, and what are some things that you need to focus on when you like kind of go ahead in like the professional world sort of. So it's been really fun. It's been really fun working with you as well. Like I was scared initially of how I would go about things and would I be actually able to do it, because you told me to handle things by myself, and that was a little challenging as well as a little exciting. So I think it's like really fun working with you. So thank you so much for the opportunity.
Thank you, Muskan. And I'll save my comments till the end. But you're awesome. Excellent. Tanya, anything you want to share about your learning experiences? So, by the way, let me caveat here. So, Tanya was supposed to be helping Michelle. Michelle had a situation that she changed companies. Well, she still has the company, but she changed priorities. But Tanya has been here every single meeting, has attended all the talks, has met everybody, has done all the homework. So, anything you can share, Tanya?
Yes, definitely. So I'm glad I continued coming to the meetings, because just like Muskan said, it's the little things that you should appreciate too. And every week I was able to take a lesson with me. Any tip, any advice that I got was very important, just to sit together and taking at least 1 hour out of your day and listen to other people's advice, or sometimes you're able to share knowledge, and just yeah, sharing the knowledge with each other is super important. And sometimes, yeah, you're, especially when I got into the situation, I was like, okay, yeah, I guess it changed up a little bit, but that doesn't mean that it cannot be great. So just because things changed for me doesn't mean that it's less good or anything, or worse. So I'm really happy that I just continued coming to the meetings, and I've learned a lot. Just every little session was meaningful. So thank you for that.
Thank you. And I will later on we will talk individually about our presentations. But I can when I met you a couple of years back, right, with the fraternity, and now it's been 180 degrees. Your confidence level has increased, your professionalism, your demeanor, you know. So you come a long way in a very short period, and you have great things that that you're going to accomplish. And we still have some work to do for the presentations, but I'm glad that you joined our cruise. It was nice. Yes, Nacho, still with us? Tiene la camisa negra.
Hello.
You learn anything here, or are you just on vacation all the time? What's going on?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay.
You've been on the beach all this time?
No. It's been great for me working with you, Hernan. I think I've learned more about the negotiation part of business more than finance, which was sort of our first focus, but it was amazing regardless. And well, as you said, I was supposed to work with someone else, but something happened there and I ended up working with you, which I think was a blessing for me. And I'm very grateful with you because you taught me a lot of things and about your business and that I can apply to my business that I've told you about. So I think it's amazing. And all the talks that are adjacent to the business part of things, that all the keynote speakers that we've had every week have been very fruitful for me. So it's been great. And I'm very thankful with the program. I hope we can still work together after that.
Thank you, Nacho. We will, and we'll talk more about that later on. Okay, Charles, did you learn anything here, or you knew everything when you came in? No.
No, you definitely taught us a lot. There was a lot of valuable homework things that you had us do, different books for us to read, different personality tests and things of that sort, just to get a better understanding of like who you really are as a person, what your personality is, what your strengths and weaknesses are, and how you can use that to better yourself and improve your skills. I've really enjoyed meeting all the guest speakers that we've had throughout this internship. They've been able to provide us with a lot of great insight, and I've been enjoying the journey this whole time a lot. So it's definitely a leap of faith that I took a couple months back, but it's definitely been paying off a lot.
Excellent. You're doing great. Continue to do great. If you do bad, there's somebody that's going to speak, that's going to tell us about it. You're going to do great, man. We trust you.
Thank you.
And then Genesis, didn't leave you last. You started speaking. I just wanted you to end with this part, so we can go out with a bang. Anything that you want to share, that you learned, that you expected, whatever you want to share.
I learned a lot with Jenny. Jenny was more like a friend to me. Also, she helped me when I was in stress, and she gave me some suggestions and some exercises. Also, I learned a lot about webinars in her project, and here also in the internship. I learned a lot about all the speakers that in every meeting I learned something, and for me it's really amazing that to have this opportunity, because I know that not all of our age can have this kind of opportunity, and I'm so grateful to be here. And also, I want to mention that I don't want to finish the internship. I want to continue working with Jenny. If you give me permission.
Of course.
By the way, so you're not the first one that mentioned that as well. I just want to say, listen, I want to be honest with you. So we did this as a way for you to have an opportunity to spend time together with the mentors and be able to learn hands-on. So if we don't have these meetings, right, we're forcing ourselves. I'm forcing myself. You're forcing yourself. Everybody committing to each other is how we're able to learn. Only when we come together is when we learn, right? This takes a lot of work. For me, it takes a lot of work. For the mentors, it takes a lot of work because we're giving of our time that we could be doing something else. But we want to help you guys out. This is what we like to do. This is our we want to our passion is to help people like you that are starting. And this is nobody pays us a cent here, right? But if we don't create these spaces and places for growth, then you can't have these opportunities, right? So if you want to continue having these experiences, you're more than welcome. The sky's the limit. You want to do whatever you want, right? Our internship ends, but our team doesn't end, right? There's people that dropped off from the internship that are still part of our team, but they missed the boat, right? Like we call it, they missed the cruise, and they missed the opportunity to learn some of the things that I will remind you. So we had Ed Bermudez, who's one of the regional heads for the largest bank, or one of the largest banks in the United States, right? Ed Bermudez was the first one from Charlotte that spoke to us. Then Olufunke from Texas Instrument, another Fortune 500 that talked to us. Manuel Mejia, who was the ex-president of the Chamber of Commerce of Puerto Rico, joined us as well. Mike Babbitt from Bank of America, right? Talk to you about trade finance. Laura Palis, who has it was a banking consultant, 30 years in banking in Ecuador, spoke about banking and how to work with banks. We have Steve Smith, the regional head for Asia for Alpha Kappa Psi, who's a longtime professor and scholar, speak to us, right? And then of course I spoke a little bit to you as well. So that's eight people. Plus we had the team from Costa Rica join us. I don't know if you remember, but Nacho was there with his dad, who's a great entrepreneur as well, and all the team from Costa Rica. We had the team from New York get together, and you guys had an opportunity, some of you, to spend time with them. We had the team from Canada. They got together, right? You had books, you had courses, you have presentations, you learn about your personalities, you learn about your values, you learn about your skills, your weaknesses, you learn how to handle your money. What else? I don't know about you, but I think that for not paying 1 cent for a class of this magnitude, I think everybody, you got your money's worth for sure. And then to end our meeting, but before I end, because I want Ignacio to close us off, I want to tell you, the people that worked with me, Nacho, Falak, and Muskan, I know that we had so much fun together. I saw it, your frustration sometimes. I don't know what to do, right? You were like, oh, what do I do? And the reality is that, like I told you before, the journey is the destination. The outcome doesn't really matter at this time, because in 2 months, you can't build a business, right? It takes time. But you expect something to happen like this. You expect somebody to answer at the time that you send an email. You want people to buy a product like this, right? And this is a good lesson. It takes time, right? And everything takes time. The relationship that I have, for example, with the mentors, it took a long time. I didn't meet Jenny, and she wasn't a very good friend of mine overnight. It took years to build a relationship based on trust. Ignacio, 30 years. Andres, who's from Dallas, at least a long time. We've been at least 6-7 years together doing apprentice stuff, and we trust each other. We care about each other, and it takes time. The relationship that you guys are building with each other, it takes time. But this is a team that will be with you forever if you so choose. These are my friends and the people that I count on for business and for life. this is what I want you guys to learn, right? So without further ado, oh, I'm sorry, Andres Bedoya, if you want to introduce yourself, and we have the closing remarks. Any advice you can give our team? Talk a little bit about you, and then some advice that you can give our teams who just are graduating from our 8-9 week cruise.
So that's amazing, Hernan. Thank you so much. And well, a little bit about myself. I'm a banker. I live in Dallas, Texas. I've been working with in the financial environment for the last 30 years. And I have some background in investments, retirement consultation, international trade, banking, business planning. I'm an accountant as a profession, but I'm just a problem solver. And with that, the advice that I can share with you guys is that life, professional life and personal life sometimes can go along together really well. Sometimes professional life and personal life can be interjecting and having some troubles. But the most important thing is be true to yourself. Do not try to find shortcuts, because sometimes as a professional, you can get a shortcut and you can get from point A to point B, but I guarantee you that the wall is going to be there waiting for you later on, and you're going to go back to point A when everyone surpasses. Never stop learning. And the most important thing, don't be afraid to ask questions. Do not be afraid to ask questions. If you are not certain about something, go to your inner circle, go to your family, go to your extended apprentice. Ask questions, because I mean, when we were young, we felt that we knew everything. Oh, I can do this, and of course, things changes and things are totally different. But at the end of the day, experience matters, and you have a nice team of people around you that can help you to achieve what you need to achieve, or at least give you some sort of perspective, different perspective. Sometimes life gets busy, work gets busy, and then we're just in this place that we don't see further than our eyes. And there's so plenty of opportunities out there to resolve the issues. Hit us on Facebook, LinkedIn, and emails. And good luck to all of you. And thank you for the commitment. And let's keep it going. Thank you, Ron.
Thank you, Andres. And Andres was one of the mentors of the year last year. So he always says yes to come here and spend time with you from his busy life. Again, this is what we do, right? We come together, we spend time together, we have fun together, and at the same time, we help the community together. And I hope that when you become big shots and you are, multi-millionaire big shots, riding in rockets that are nicer than the one that Bezos had, then you come back and make sure you share your advice with whoever's here in 2020, 2030, because you're gonna make it very fast, right? Anytime you have an opportunity to come back and share with all of us, that'd be great. So without further ado, and final comments, anybody else? Because we're gonna wrap it up. Jenny, any final comment?
Not for me, only thank you so much, Hernan, for your help, for your support, for your effort, for these opportunities. A big opportunity is not only for the apprentices, it's only for the mentors too, because in my case, for example, with Genesis, I told with her, it's bidirectional opportunity. It's not only for apprentices, it's only for the mentors too. So only thank you, Hernan. Thank you so much for this space, for your time, for all your effort for that. Really, it's only thank you.
Thank you. So we'll keep doing this. So our internship program ends, but we keep helping people as best that we can in Colombia and everywhere around the world. So wherever we're at. All right, without further ado, before I introduce you to my painting here. By the way, I had a map, but Ignacio, the guy that's gonna speak to you just now, said to me, "Hey, Hernan, that map, it doesn't look that good." So I said, "Oh my God, what am I gonna do? I don't have anything." So I decided to put a nice painting, and he told me, "Put a nice painting," and I go, "What type of painting?" Well, something that has a story. So Frederick Leighton was the painter for this painting, which is called Flaming June, which is based on it's actually a painting of a Greek nymph, and they call it Flaming June not only because of the orange color, but also because of the summer. If you see here, the summer is starting, right? So Flaming June also refers to the month. But the reason I share this picture with you is because it is in the Museum of Ponce in Puerto Rico, and it is our crowning jewel. It's kind of like the Mona Lisa of Puerto Rico. It's in the Museo de Ponce, Flaming June. So if you ever go to Puerto Rico and go to the Museo de Ponce, you'll see the live picture.
Boricua!
But it was because of Ignacio. And Ignacio, what can I say about Ignacio? Ignacio, when I met Ignacio, I was 19 years old at the University of Miami. And one of the things that I learned is not only that I learned, so Ignacio is my best friend in the whole planet. When I was by myself in Miami, and I didn't have any family, Ignacio and his family introduced me to the Cuban culture, Miami, and so many other things that I cannot share with you because I don't have enough time, and they're all secret. But he's also my brother, my fraternity brother. He was in my executive committee, and our lives, we spend it together, we have fun together, we cry together, we laugh together, right? And this is what I hope that you guys can experience with each other. And how I cannot find any better way to close our experience than with Ignacio talking to us about how plan B can lead you to your plan A, basically making the best out of unexpected turns in your career. Ignacio.
Thank you. So thank you for the great intro. As Hernan mentioned, we've known each other for a very long time, and I've had the opportunity to work with Hernan for almost 8 years now as part of Apprentice, and it's it's interesting. Sometimes you think you're not going to have time to participate, but every time you do, I feel like I get more back than what I give. So thank you, Hernan. So a little bit about myself, as Hernan mentioned. So I am I'm an immigrant to the United States. So I came from Spain, and the reason I was born in Spain is because my parents left Cuba before I was born, about 2 years before I was born, and went back to Spain. That's where my grandparents are from. So I've experienced a little bit of being an immigrant, and not as much as many of you, and it's a really important component of who I am. Really looking back and saying, you can make anything of yourself. You just have to have a plan and move forward. And some of that is sometimes your plan B, but your plan A is always staying focused. So about let's see, almost just over 10 years now, I had lost my job, a great job that I had at Royal Caribbean. I spent most of my career in sales and marketing, and spent a little bit of my time working with technology. So I really enjoyed working on different technology projects. Probably the part of my job that I enjoyed the most, with having a background in finance and marketing, with a master's in a concentration of marketing. Always very, very interested in what you could do with technology. And I took a bad opportunity or a bad situation and kind of put it in my favor. When I lost my job, I took about a week, and I just sat back and said, well, if I had it to do it all over again, what would I work on? What would I do next? What part of my job would I change? And again, I probably spent 25, maybe 30% of my time managing projects that my team was responsible for. So I had, at the time, I think I had a team of 7. And we had projects, capital projects with IT, probably 3 or 4 at a time, you know, in the couple $100,000 each. And I found them really rewarding. So that my plan B when I lost my job was really to get more experience in that area and really leverage what I had learned on, you know, IT refers to it as a business side, but everything is business. But learning more about what I had done on sales and marketing and bringing that knowledge over to technology. So it was a pivot, and it was a plan B, but it really wasn't a complete pivot. And one of the things that I would bring to everybody here, and you guys will probably, if you've heard me speak before, I apologize, 'cause I know I always bring this one up, but it's important, is you don't want to make a complete pivot. You want to start building your skill set. So in my case, I had built more than 5 years of experience in sales, more than 5 years of experience in marketing, about the same in finance and analytics. So by the time I made the pivot, I had about 5 years of experience in 3 core areas. And now I wanted to build my experience in technology. So one of the important components of building a pivot or having a plan B is to think about them as building blocks on your resume. If somebody's searching your resume, are they looking for somebody that's got 1 year of experience? Are they looking for somebody that's got 3 years of experience? And that magic 5 years of experience in the technology field almost makes you a subject matter expert. You become an expert in an area at 5 years. And that's really what I wanted to do. I wanted to make a pivot, but I knew I needed to get to that threshold of 3 to 5 years. So I took a job with a smaller company where I had more authority over decision making. I decided I wanted to get more in touch with technology, and in working with the CEO of the company, he allowed me to lead the ERP implementation. So we implemented Sage X3, which was an SAP competitor for the company. So we mapped out our core processes and implemented an ERP, which is a pretty amazing experience. We also implemented Salesforce, which is the CRM of choice for most multinational companies. So in the span of 2 years, I was able to not only build my experience in technology, but build it with some pretty good tools, right? So by the time I got to my next experience, I was a Salesforce implementer for about 3 years with another startup. And at that point, 2 years plus 3 years, I had 5 years of experience in technology. And I made that magic threshold of the 5 years. So when I went to go interview with Ryder, which is a company I'm at right now, I was able to bring not only my experience in marketing, not only my experience in sales, not only my experience in finance, but now my 5 years of experience in technology, which is a core thing that I wanted to change. That was my plan B, but I know in order for me to get to that plan B, I wanted to bring that along with all the other experiences I had. And a large part of that pivot was not, it was intentional. So I always had the intention of moving in that direction, but I had to take steps to get there, right? I had to pick up the projects nobody wanted from a technology perspective. So I had coworkers. I had 4 coworkers at the time. None of them wanted to pick up the IT projects because they had a lot of risk. There was a lot of extra time that I had to put in my job to do those, in addition to managing the team that I had and all the different requirements that I had to do. Just to give you an idea, I still managed a budget of $350 million of both marketing and sales expenses. So pretty big responsibility, including the compensation for the sales team, reporting for all the sales department, setting the strategy for our sales and marketing department. So pretty big responsibility. And on top of that, I picked that up. So the way I did it is, number one, I took my extra time to pick that up. And number two, I stayed curious. And one of the things that I forgot who mentioned this before, but it's really important. You really, really got to have a growth mindset and be willing to understand. And when you don't understand, write it down and research it. Go online, figure out what that means. When somebody says, you know, we're going to go change a schema of this database and you don't know what a schema is, that's where Google's your best friend. Many YouTube videos When I interviewed for the position I'm in now, which I've been in for 3 years, I had no idea. So I currently head up the data governance practice for Ryder. It was something that came out of our Ryder data strategy. That data strategy required somebody to jump into a brand new role that nobody had done before at Ryder, establish a data governance practice, establish a master data practice. I had no idea what that, I learned about the job from my mentor. So I reached out to somebody in the group that I wanted to work in and asked him if he would be my mentor. He said, of course he would. After about a year and a half, this opportunity came up, and over lunch he said, hey, I've got an opportunity on my team. It's a little bit of a stretch for you, but are you willing to consider it? And I said, absolutely. Will I be reporting to you, and what is it about? And he said, yeah, you'll be reporting to me. It's a new area. We just got an approval from our board to add this new position. Are you interested? So again, a little bit of a pivot, not an area I was completely familiar with, but I knew technology. I knew I can pick up. And I spent about 3 weeks researching it for hours on end at night. So I'd finish my, entrepreneurs refer to it as the 6 to 2 a.m. So I would, close up shop at 6 o'clock, have dinner, and then really focus on learning about this new job that I was interviewing for. It wasn't easy. I interviewed with, I think, 6 people. Not many of them believed that I could do it, except for my boss, that became my boss, and the person that's my boss now. But lo and behold, I've grown the practice to, we own 5 domains. Most companies have about 3. So we have a pretty big responsibility as a company and as a group. And it was my plan B. I never intended to be, when I was in college, technology had just started really taking hold. I mean, everything was about desktop computers and mainframes. And now it's, changed considerably. So being in the data space is pretty exciting. And it's a big plan B and a big move for myself. But really the takeaway here is you could define your future, and you can have a pivot, and you could do something different as a plan B. Just make sure it makes a clear connection to what you had before. So you bring those extra elements of experience with you, because that's in the technology world, that's what makes you a unicorn, right? So you want to establish your unicorn status by having those additional experiences, plus bringing the technology side of it. So technology applies to everything. So that's my pitch for technology. You could be in the marketing space, and there's a ton of technology in marketing now, probably more technology than there is the creative side of marketing. That used to be the creative side of marketing. Same thing for sales, banking. I mean, banking is becoming extremely automated. A lot of components of compliance. So there's a little bit about everything, and stay curious. Maybe one day that'll be your plan B, is to move to the technology side. But it's been a blessing in disguise. I think back and I say, what would I have done differently if that hadn't happened, if I hadn't had that change in my life? And I really wouldn't change anything. I think it's something that has made a huge difference. Monetarily has made a huge difference in my life as well. I'm making a lot more than I would have if I had stayed in that role and stayed on my current track. So I'm pretty happy about that as well. But I think, that's what you're learning as part of Apprentice. Take advantage of asking those questions. If you're thinking about going a different path, or you're in a current path and you want to add a component or add an additional skill, that's the beauty of Apprentice, right? You can find a mentor that has that expertise. There's mentors all over the world. There's nobody that hasn't experienced a change. There's nobody that hasn't experienced a moment in their lives where they had to second guess what they were doing. So we've all been there in different situations. Hernan can match you up to someone that has similar experiences or similar areas you want to consider. But if you learn nothing else from this speech, the most important thing is stay curious and willing to learn new things. You cannot go wrong with learning about technology in your field. Every field will be automated in some way or the other. Continue to learn, make time every day to learn something new, because one day that could be your plan B. And the one thing that continues to change is the landscape of every job is changing. So make sure you are focused on that, and really focus on building those thresholds of 3 to 5 years. That I can't say that enough. You know, if you have, as you're new to your career, when somebody's searching you on Google, when somebody, sorry, not Google, but LinkedIn, and they're looking for somebody with a certain skill set, they are looking for 3 years of experience in a certain area. If your LinkedIn profile is not jumping out at them, I have 3 years of experience in finance, I have 3 years of experience in technology, I have 3 years of experience in banking, make it jump out. And if you're at 2.5 years, get to 3 years. If you're thinking of making a career move and you're at 2 years, try to stick it out to get to 3 years. It's amazing the difference between 2 years to 3 years. 3 years is a big threshold, definitely in technology. It's a huge threshold. So that's my advice to you. Don't be afraid of the plan B. Make it something that builds upon your expertise, and build as many of those blocks as possible. Build as many of those 3 to 5 year blocks, because they do make a big difference. They will set you apart from somebody else. So that's my talk. So any questions from the interns?
Yeah, I have. I want to say something.
Sure.
So first of all, thank you so much for sharing with all of us such invaluable piece of advice. I cannot express how much I'm happy to really listen to what you just said. But I want to stress a little more on the fact that you brought up the discussion around technology, because I have always been fascinated by the existence of this very industry and how it's literally leveraging everything in the world. I mean, everything's moving so fast, so quick, and everything is happening because of the very existence of it. So,
Right.
I mean, we can take this conversation very offline and have discussion very through. But
Sure.
what I really wanted to say here is that your complete composition of experience and the way you have shared with us how you have used this to pave your own path is something really something that I really look forward to, and I would really want to know more on that. So
Sure.
thank you.
I'm happy. We're happy to talk. So
Sure. I'll get connected.
okay.
Thank you.
Oh, by the way, this is the beauty of what we're doing here. This is a speaker, but he's not going anywhere, right? It's not like you have to run after him for months. Ignacio is part of our team, right? By the way, all of you are part of our team, so you can reach out anytime. By the way, interesting. So this book was written in 2019 by Andres Oppenheimer. The Rise of the Robots Are Coming. It's called, right? And it talked about before the pandemic, the acceleration of every single industry and how everything is getting disrupted. And I don't know if you saw my LinkedIn today, but I posted that the people that are losing or that cannot gain jobs are starting with the Gen X. Gen S, people 45 and over, so around my age, right? The people that do not innovate, do not change careers, do not find a way to do something new or upskill, are finding it harder and harder to get a job, right, Ignacio? So we're preaching and we're doing, right? we know that this is happening, and we are making the changes necessary to be able to maintain our relevancy in the market. Any other questions, guys? before we pass it along to, there's two other mentors that came that wanted to say hi to you guys. So any questions to Ignacio?
If you don't mind sending them my contact info, Hernan, as well, just so they know where to find me on Apprentice. But absolutely, like Hernan said, I'm here. I'm not going anywhere. I've been here since the very beginning with Apprentice. If you guys have questions, if you don't think about them today, that's okay. We're here to help you, as much as we can in some of those big changes. And as young adults, you're gonna have a lot of changes coming up in your life in a short amount of time. Embrace them. A lot of these changes are positive. I mean, if 2020 and 2021 have taught us anything, is that what we thought was our plan B has sometimes become our plan A. I never thought to be working from home, 24, 7 days, 5 days a week. I thought I would be working from home every once in a while. Now it's my plan B. I've taken advantage of it. So you have to embrace the negative with the positive. And I've, been able to exercise more and spend more time with people like Hernan, where I was always so busy I couldn't even make it to a happy hour. So it's all good.
By the way, so there's a few things. This is a picture of you when you met me. Not that much different, huh? Not that much different. By the way, Plan B. I'm sure that Andres wasn't planning on losing his hair either, no?
So COVID.
Sebastian, there's always a Plan B, brother. It's shining, so you're good. Thank you, Ignacio. Sebastian, talk about Plan B. Guy from Chile in Miami doing something totally different. Welcome.
Well, thank you, Hernan. Talking about Plan B. Wow. That was very good, Ignacio. Thank you for the talk. Like, was really knowledgeable. Even though we talk a lot, this was every time we learn something new from each other. So thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Well, just to say hi to all you all. My name is Sebastian, as Hernan says. I came to live to the US with my wife 4 years ago now. And yeah, I did have a plan A when I came here. Didn't work. Have a plan B, then a plan C, and well, but it's an A1, A2, A3. It's never like Ignacio said, it's a pivot that you use your own experience and then you build on forward, this is work. As Ignacio said, I also work from 9 to 5 and then from 6 to something I research, I try to create my own company. It's building little by little. And yeah, I'm pretty happy with what has happened through the years. So anyone that wanted to talk or anything, I'm here to share experience about moving from one country to the other and losing like your network, and you have to start everything from zero. So Hernan was a pretty good connection I get here, and I pretty fast meet the other mentors, and they always give something to me in the talks that we have, in the happy hours, and so I'm here too. Anything that you need, just WhatsApp or through the app, I'm here. So welcome all.
Thank you, Sebastian. It's been a fun ride, that's for sure. And then last but definitely not least, Anna. Anna, I think you're there.
Yes, I'm here.
Anna is another one of our mentors, and she's been helping out a lot. She actually was Tanya's mentor, and quote unquote boss for a little bit.
Yeah, for a while. It was a really good time with Tanya. out of ideas. So yes, thank you
You
for
want
this
to?
space. Actually, I want to thank Ignacio because I really love all that you say and the passion that you had in your work. I think that is like really nice to hear people like you talking in that way about the work
Thank
and everything. What can I say? I think that when you love what you do, it doesn't matter how much time you invest in it, you know. Actually, I was finishing a meeting uh, after being here, so I really think that when you work and you love what you do, you are don't going to think in how much time you invest in that. So I think that that's something really interesting to have into account when you choose what to do in your life. You know, it's not only a job, it's like the thing that you are going to do to change the world. It's that the only thing that I think.
Excellent. Thank you, Anna. And the final thought before we leave is, how do you measure success? And everybody measures it a little different. The way that I measure success has nothing to do with money at this stage in my life, by the way. I measure success by the times that I spent with my friends. And, I'm very, very picky and careful who I have in my life, as you should be, when it's something that matters to you, right? So, the people that are here are people that matter to me, and every opportunity that I have to spend with them is my success, right? How I feel successful every time that I spend my time together with any of my friends. And people think that, no, you have a lot of followers and you're an influencer. The reality is that doesn't really matter to me. What matters is the time that I spend with my friends, because as the older that we get, we realize that money comes and goes, right? And that what matters is the little moments that we spend together with the people that we care about. And those times, as you get older, are less and less and less. So, how many times, how would I have known that, I don't know if it's the last time that I go to Dallas, or the last time that I go to New York, or the last time that I spend, with you. I never know, right? That's why I make every opportunity, to celebrate the time with you. And that's how I measure success. So I hope that you can, find ways to measure your own success by spending time with the people that matter, right? The people that care about you, that you care for, and that you realize that these experiences, are great to lead us in a it gives us an opportunity to buy something, but the reality is that nothing buys, what we have, which is true friendship, right? Ignacio, I know it's hard for you to say that when you're saying this speech in a Tesla, which we always laugh about because he's a technology guy. But are you in your Tesla now, or what?
I am.
There you go. And I these toys that we buy, we're blessed to have them. But the reality is that most importantly is the time that we spend together, right? And when he brought the Tesla to my house, I spent this fun time driving with him. By the way, the car drives itself. I don't know if you knew that. It's awesome. All right. Any questions? Cheap shots. Okay. So we don't have graduation attire nor graduation hats, but I'm gonna play the graduation song. Okay, everybody ready? Here we go. All right. We have Charles, Falak, Muscan, Genesis, Tanya, Nacho. Woo! You did it. You put up with me for 8-9 weeks, and you didn't lose hair like Andres did. But listen, I'm very proud of you guys. Let's keep doing whatever it is that we're doing to be successful. And remember how we measure success. It's not always, about plan A, right? I hope that you make plan A, but if not, plan B is not that bad. All right, guys, gotta go. Be good.
Have a
Bye.
good night,
Congrats.
everybody.
Everyone, have a
Bye.
good night.
Thank you.
Congrats.
Thank you.
Se bien y si se portan mal me llaman. Chao. Bye.
Bye.
Buenas noches para
Yeah,
todos.
Polak, you're almost in an A, almost. Oye, te peinaste para venir, así me gusta. Oye, me quedé con los colombianos. ¿Qué es esto? Esto es el destino.
Brother, es que nosotros siempre estamos hasta el final porque uno nunca sabe qué resulte ya.
Es cierto, Andrés.
Sí, claro. Lo que pasa es que ellos no saben lo que nosotros sabemos, Jenny, eso es lo que pasa.
Sí.
Oye, espérate, déjame parar la grabación porque si no, no puedo decir lo que iba a decir. Espérate.